Hello everybody and welcome back to our Back to Basics series here on Farm Sim 19. Today we're going to take a look at poplar as a crop and planting saplings. So both of these are kind of hand in hand and go together. They both are kind of related to forestry, which we'll get to in a little bit more detail in another video. But they're also, at least with respect to poplar, it is also a crop. So what I have in front of me is some of the specialty equipment that we're going to need to plant poplar and saplings, as well as the forage harvester and harvest header that we're going to need in order to basically harvest our poplar. In addition to this machinery here, we're going to need specific pallets. I've got 2 pallets of saplings here and 2 pallets of poplar. Billets, I guess here. Just call them billets. How does this all work? Well, we take this tree planter right here, load it up with a pallet of either saplings or poplar billets, then we head out to the field. Take a look at this in the shop, go to tools, and then over here to forestry equipment, we have the tree planter. Works at a whopping 4 miles per hour, 1 meter working width. Pretty slow paced equipment there. Then we also have our forage harvester. Several different options of forage harvesters. Got the New Holland one here simply because it matches up very well. The New Holland poplar forage harvester header. First thing we want to do is we want to put some poplar in the ground. Hook up to our planter here. We're going to come up beside a poplar pallet. And we're going to say R to reload. Now we have 2,000 liters of poplar in our planter. Throw it down. Turn it on. We're going to hire a helper just so we don't have to worry about doing this. And basically what we do is we get little saplings, if you will, of poplar being put down to a row. Now when this tree planter gets to the end of the field, the AI driver is going to basically turn around. It's going to be a bit of a gap from these two to the next row. Depending on which way he goes, there's either going to be another row right about here or another row right about here. I'm going to go ahead and just let this guy go to town for a little bit, and I'll bring you back once we've got a few rows of poplar in the ground. Alright, so that's enough poplar, I think, in the ground. Now, as you can see, the poplar goes quite a long way. I've only used 38% of this pallet. Unload the tree planter. Doesn't look like it is going to let me unload the tree planter. Well, that is a problem now, isn't it? Another feature of this, we might as well just talk about this, is allow create fields. Try to put poplar down here. Turn it on. Notice we're not putting any poplar in the ground. Go back here and we do allow create fields. Y. Lower it down. Now we are not only plowing the ground up slightly, we're putting a row of poplar in the ground. You have that capability. Now what we want to do is we want to stop that. We want to say limit the fields. Now we won't accidentally carve up the ground. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed that they don't let you unload this. I'll demonstrate a little trick, and we're going to lose this pallet as a result of this little trick. I don't know any other way of basically getting around it. We go here and reset our poplar planter. There you go. I learned something new today also. Typically when you reset something that has product in it, product is lost. Apparently in this case, it dropped the pallet down. The only way to empty this tree planter is apparently to reset it. Now we're going to plant saplings. Do this the same way we planted poplar. Pull up next to the pallet, hit R, and we have 20 tree saplings in the field here. Now we don't have to plant saplings in the field. We plant saplings alongside the field. What we'll do is I'm just going to start the planter off here. And you'll see that we are now putting little trees in the ground. Every such distance. And this pallet has 20 trees in it, so we can plant a total of 20 trees. And these trees will grow up into be big trees. Trees like we see off in the distance. You need to own the land that you're going to be planting these trees on. As you can see, we don't need to plant these in a field. We can if we want to. If we don't want to, we can just plant them anywhere. We also do not have the allow create fields turned on. As you can see, we're not plowing up the ground. As we plant the little saplings, they vanish out of the pallet. And once the pallet is empty, it will then vanish off of the planter. So, then I have 20 trees along the side of that field. And a few rows of poplar here. Again, we don't need to go to the exercise of putting the poplar in the whole field, because we're not going to go through the exercise of planting or of harvesting the poplar. What we're going to do now is speed up time once again through the various stages of poplar, and we'll try to also capture various stages of our sapling growth as well. All right, and at this stage, the poplar is now ready to harvest. See that our saplings now moved into the second growth stage. Saplings are going to take quite a long time to grow, many game days to get to the full height. Poplar takes a fairly long time also to grow. Took a few game days worth of time to get to this point. A little bit of poplar is, for whatever reason, had behind. Right now, how do we harvest poplar? Well, we need a forage harvester. We have the Anderson PLC. There is also a bio baler. We can bale and make poplar bales. Take a look at that. Here is the bio baler. It will make poplar bales, and it is only available from the Anderson PLC. At this point, we're really just talking about base game equipment. As far as base game equipment, your only option is going to be a forage harvester. And there's a reason that when you plant these, they're spaced out like this. That's basically to make the forage harvester's job easier. Now line this up. We hit 0 to pipe out. We hit O. That's what raised the pipe here. Now we're going to need to get a chase trailer to basically collect our wood chips. And if you've watched the sugarcane video, then you kind of know what's coming up next. Basically, this operation is much better served in multiplayer than single player. What we need to do is we need to get into our forage harvester. We need to hit H to hire a helper. Then we need to get into our chase tractor and basically follow behind the forage harvester. You'll see what he's doing is the header is collecting, cutting the poplar at the base. And then there are knives in the forage harvester that is basically chipping it up into wood chips and then putting it out the chute into the trailer. Something else that we are doing is we are basically using cruise control to set the speed of the tractor so we can easily follow alongside of the harvester. And we adjust our speed with the number one, and the number 2 keys to decrease and increase our speed. Then we turn cruise control on with the number 3 key. We're just going to continue on collecting wood chips until we have harvested all of the chips that we have planted. That's to give the forage harvester a wide berth when turning. And if the trailer is not there, he won't continue down the field. He'll wait until you are within range. And what's really nice about poplar is that it's a plant once, harvest many type of a crop. So if you've already seen the sugarcane video, it you know, we've talked about poplar, or not poplar, sugarcane, as being one of those crops where you plant once, then you can harvest it 3 times, then you need to plant it again. Poplar is similar, except there is no limit to the number of harvests. So you plant once, harvest forever. So while it does take quite a bit of time to put the poplar into the ground first time, and we're limited to just 4 miles per hour and basically 2 little rows at a time. Once that is done, you are done with the planter, with the poplar pallets. At that point in time, you just harvest. It will go from a harvested state to a first growth state here in basically a game day or so. Then just rinse and repeat as many times as you want. For some reason you're tired of putting poplar or having poplar in a field, just cultivate it under and you're good to go. Now that we've got this field of poplar harvested, talk about storage options. There really aren't too many storage options in game, because there aren't any storage options in game. Basically, the only way of storing wood chips in game is to tip them onto the ground and leave them in a pile. Can't put them in a game silo. Isn't a magical building like our hayloft that is set up to hold wood chips in game. Wood chips not accepted here. So once again, we turn to the in-ground storage mod that we've been showing off in the potato video, sugarcane video, and the sugar beet video. Because this building will allow you to store wood chips. We can dump wood chips in here and store them, and then we can pull them out. Pipe. Is an invaluable mod if you are going to be working in any of those 4 crops. As far as selling wood chips, typically sell wood chips at the sawmill. Here we have the wood chip icon, $180 at the sawmill. Go ahead and take these wood chips up to the sawmill. On this map, should be up on top of that mountain there. And I'll show you where we would typically unload wood chips on either of the base maps, and many of the mod maps are going to have the same general visual appearing wood chip sell point. Finally made it up the hill, winding our way over here to the wood chip sell point. And most wood chip sell points are going to be identified by this pile of wood chips with the fence around them. Lots of mod maps would require you to tip basically in the pile. This particular map, I think all we need to do is tip here in this hashed area. Let's just try. Nope. Back it up to the pile and see if that takes it. Yep, there we go. A quick $3,000. Again, we're going to be able to reap the reward of the poplar harvest time and time again. Probably have a limited yield on that because I didn't fertilize the field beforehand. So that's probably why we only have 3,000 liters. At any rate, we're going to go back to the farm and fast forward a few days and see our saplings grow some more. And you can see our poplar is now once again regrowing. Didn't have to replant it. It has just started to regrow. And it will, of course, continue through the whole growth, harvest cycle until you cultivate this up, should you so wish to stop that. And here we have trees, the saplings that we planted at full growth. It took several game days to run through this. I don't know how many game days really count, but now we have full height trees. And in an upcoming video, we're going to talk about forestry and how we can basically harvest these trees for logs or wood chips. Let me know in the comments. This video help you understand poplar or planting tree saplings or anything else? Let me know in the comments. And until next time, happy farming. Be sure to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell.